Good morning. Welcome to your program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and I'm greeting all our Phil-Americans and Americans in the Philippines a happy 4th of July. We are 12 hours or 8 hours ahead, but happy 4th of July to our U.S. U.S. residents in the Philippines, and we do hope that it's going to be a good day, a meaningful day for all of you. Today it's a Wednesday, and today we are going. Is it a Wednesday? No, it's I think it's a Tuesday. Oh, it's a Tuesday. I got my days mixed up. Wait a minute. Now I'm really confused because it is 4th of July, but it's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday, and I apologize. I'm kind of just mixed up with all the stuff going on here. But in any case, good morning, and thank you for being subscribers of Cignal TV, viewers of One News PH on channels 8 and 250, and followers of Agenda. And thank you for those who chase after us via Facebook and YouTube and Cignal Play app. And of course, thank you to PLDT for their home fiber optic internet that allows me to broadcast from Lipa City, Batangas. Okay, now today we are going to have what I believe is another lecture, another informative conversation with someone who is a well-known professional in the area of tourism. He is a professor in that field. We will be speaking with him later, and we are going to tackle all things tourism, including the issue of the Love Philippines situation or slogan. But before anything else, let's go for today's daily starter from the Will to Win. We all get what we tolerate, okay? We all get what we tolerate. If you put up with people annoying you, you will have more people annoying you. If you tolerate corruption, you will have more people, you will have more corrupt people, okay? Tinatanggap nyo, tinitiis nyo instead of calling it out, instead of acting on it. It is nice, it is good to be neighborly, it is good to be Christian, to be godly. But if we tolerate what is wrong, well, that's different. Sabi nga ni John Wayne, if you still know who John Wayne is, in one of his cowboy movies, we may be neighbors, but I don't need to be neighborly. Okay, so yun po, no? We all get what we tolerate. So just bear that in mind, and I do hope that you will benefit from today's Daily Starter. Now let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star, 4th of July. Okay, 4th of July, 2023. And the headline is, DOT or Department of Tourism scraps campaign contract with ad firm. Love the Philippines slogan lifted from Cyprus, Barbados. Okay, po. After drawing flack for including stock footage of other countries in the promotional video for a new tourism campaign, the Department of Tourism has announced the termination of its contract with advertising firm Doyle, Dane, and Burnback, DDB Philippines, which the DOT had tapped to handle the rebranding program. Okay, so yun po. Bagano, scrap na raw. Now, the question is, if you scrap that, are you actually scrapping the entire campaign and we won't be using the Love Philippines slogan anymore? Let's ask our guests later, but let's first cover all the news items on the front page. On the header, we have all 10 Degamo slay gunmen recant statements versus Teves. As expected, all the arrested and accused gunmen who killed Mayor Degamo are now recanting their statements versus Congressman Teves. Okay. Sad news, shocking news. Co-ed sexually assaulted in UP Diliman campus. Okay, and that story involves a young co-ed who was crossing from the campus, reportedly crossing over to the Marcos or Marcos Avenue or Commonwealth Avenue, and was waylaid by a man at around 11 in the evening the other night. Meanwhile, Pastilla's executives, those Bureau of Immigration officials charged with corruption and assisting people through the airport, lost their appeal at the Court of Appeals. Okay, so tuloy ang kaso. Meanwhile, EDCA VFA type partnership with Japan push. The Philippines may well be on its way toward forging a more solid partnership with Japan that will allow both countries to jointly and more effectively counter China's incursions in the West Philippine Sea and South China Sea. Okay. And then further down, we have President Marcos viewing the Air Force, Philippine Air Force helicopters performing aerial maneuvers during capability demonstrations at the Crow Valley Gunnery Range of the Colonel Ernesto Ravina Air Base in Capas, Tarlac. The Philippine Air Force celebrated its 76th anniversary yesterday. Marcos to Air Force, days ahead won't be easy. Tougher days are on the horizon for the Philippine Air Force amid unfolding geopolitical challenges, including persistent threats to the country's territorial integrity, the president said. Okay, and a probe sought on fake celeb product endorsements. Okay. Senator Jinggoy Estrada has filed Senate Resolution 666 for an appropriate Senate committee to investigate the matter of alarming proliferation of fake and misleading online celebrity endorsements and deceptive social media postings. Okay, perhaps Senator Estrada should call in the social media operators or platforms like Meta, etc. Okay, MR3 refiles fare hike petition after being told to suspend their fare hike by President Bongbong Marcos. MRT3 now refiled their fare hike petition. Okay. And DBM chief is Public Servant of the Year at Asia Leaders Award. Secretary Amena Pangandaman of the Department of Budget and Management was named Public Servant of the Year among honorees of the Men and Women Who Matter list of the Asia Leaders Awards. Ayan po. Okay, LGUs tap to expand national housing program. The Marcos administration is working with local government units or LGUs to expand the national housing program, which seeks to solve the 6.5 million housing backlog in the Philippines. Okay, and finally, in sports, Pinoy duo rules World Cup of Pool. Photo from Matchroom Pool shows Johan Chua and James Aranas of the Philippines celebrating after beating Germany to win the World Cup of Pool in Spain last Sunday. Okay, the tandem made history as the Philippines won an unprecedented fourth World Cup of Pool title. Okay, at right world number 3 pole vaulter EJ Obiena became the first Filipino to book a ticket to the 2024 Paris Olympics after clearing the game standard of 5.82 meters at the Bauhaus Galan in Stockholm, Sweden. Ayun, so Obiena qualifies for Paris Olympics. So there we go. That's all of the news on the front page of the Philippine Star. And now let's go to the introduction of our topic. And our guest, Gab, please roll out the Betamax.
After the controversy surrounding the Love the Philippines campaign, the Department of Tourism has terminated its deal with advertising firm DDB Philippines. DOT said it is in solidarity with the Filipinos in expressing outrage at DDB's use of non-original or stock footage purporting to be scenes from the Philippines. People online pointed out that some scenes in the Love the Philippines video are actually stock footage shot in Thailand, Dubai, and Indonesia. Aside from terminating their contract, the DOT also made it clear that they are not paying DDB because of this incident. DDB said the clip was a mood video intended to excite internal stakeholders about the campaign, but it has also apologized for this brouhaha and called their action as highly inappropriate and an unfortunate oversight. How should the tourism department move forward from this controversy? Let's discuss this on today's agenda.
Bob Zozobrado is the president of the Tourism Congress of the Philippines. Prior to this, he was the former country manager for the Philippines and Micronesia at the Northwest Airlines. Zozobrado is also a tourism professor at the Lyceum of the Philippines University.
Good morning, Bob. Welcome to the program. It's been a while.
Good morning, Cito. Nice to see you again.
Okay, thank you for making time this morning. And I'm wondering, being the veteran in tourism, having worked with an airline company, being a professor, I'd like to pick your brains or know your thoughts on all the stuff that's been going in the country. We've had issues with airlines, airports, and now we even have a problem with our slogans. What are your thoughts?
Well, personally, I was happy with the former slogan that we had. It's more fun in the Philippines. I was happy because it brought us a lot of tourists and a lot of benefits. But then again, I'm also open-minded. I get excited when there are changes. I subscribe to the fact that they say the only thing permanent in life is change. So I look forward when I heard that the DOT was planning to enhance our tourism slogan. I was looking forward to it. And I actually got excited. So when the Department of Tourism Secretary, Secretary Frasco, called all of us tourism stakeholders to get our comments on the new enhanced slogan, I was looking forward to it. And first, the impact it hit me was I liked it because of the colors. I liked everything that it portrayed. I liked the fact that it carried the message that the Philippines is all about love. And, I really liked it. So we were asked, actually, during that stakeholders meeting, before the slogan was launched, we were asked for our comments. And I went around the room and asked people, they're all my colleagues. There were about 60 or more of us in that room. And we were asked for comments. What can we say about the new slogan? Everybody liked it. We all liked it. We were given a common form. And on my form, I wrote that maybe it would be best if it's paired with a very catchy jingle, because I know we can easily do that. There's so many talented composers here in our country.
Yeah.
So that's my suggestion. And it carried on. So that's why I guess after that, the secretary launched it a week later with President Marcos there.
Okay, so the initial reaction was, I like it, love the Philippines. Your input was put in a catchy jingle and all's well. But apparently, things did not turn out the way we wanted. Now, before we even go to that brouhaha, you're a tourism professor of tourism and a pillar in the industry. Now, why is there a need, or is it really necessary for every administration, presidency to come up with a new slogan? And is this a good practice, or is it something that doesn't always work out? What is your knowledge of this?
It's like this. We had a choice whether to stay the same, to retain the old slogan that we had, or come up with something new, especially because we just survived 2 years of non-existence, 2 years of hibernation, and the tourism industry is always a constantly evolving industry. In fact, after the pandemic, we realized that tourists have now evolved into something different. Whereas before, tourists come to the Philippines and they're happy. They take pictures of my own volcano, Chocolate Hill, blah, blah, blah. But now they're not contented with that. They now involve themselves in experiential tourism. They want to be a part of the picture. They want to be a part of their surroundings. So, there's something dynamic that is happening. So I felt that the Department of Tourism probably thought that, with the changing times, maybe it's also nice to change our stand on our slogan to hopefully increase more arrivals into the Philippines.
So this is not just, the political formula of, hey, new president, new administration, new slogan. You correctly pointed out that after 2 years of virtual non-existence because of COVID, it was an opportunity. Now, how are these things done, Bob? Because most people that I spoke to were saying, well, it would have been nice if they consulted. It would have been nice if they made it a little more public. Because I remember when the It's More Fun in the Philippines campaign was created, there was a lot of interaction with netizens, with ordinary Filipinos who if I remember correctly, were even sharing their stock videos, etc., for the campaign, and which gave everybody ownership.
Yeah. Actually, what happened, going back to the former slogan that we had, the involvement of the public came only after the slogan was introduced. And people liked it, so they put in their own videos. It's more fun doing this, more fun doing that in the Philippines, okay? Now, going back to what you said earlier of a consultation with everybody, you can just imagine how difficult that process is going to be. Because if we ask people, there will be as many suggestions as there will be people that we will ask. So
Okay.
we'll never get there.
Well,
We'll never get there.
that's fair. But what about transparency? Because people were like, "Oh, there's a new slogan. Oh, they actually made the slogan. Oh, it's finally out. How much did it cost? Who did it?" All the data only started, trickling in when when there was a fiasco already.
Yeah. Well, my involvement is in this particular case is only after the Secretary of Tourism involved us stakeholders, called for a meeting. Although she already announced before.
Yeah.
Remember that controversy again about the slogan that people saw at a bus in London that says "We give you our best" or
Yes.
things like that. Then people thought it was the tourism slogan. So when we asked the tourism secretary, she said, "No, definitely that has nothing to do with us. It's not our work, and if ever we're going to enhance the slogan, we are going to involve you," meaning the tourism stakeholders. She promised us that. So definitely, when she came up with this proposal from DDB, the first thing she did was call us for a meeting. There were presidents of the tourism organizations who were called. There were about 60 or more of us in that hall, and it was presented to us, and we were asked for comment. Now, from what I gathered,
Wait a minute. You said that this video and this slogan was a proposal from DDB. It's not a contracted, approved, and launched product, because that's the general impression. Hey, it's finished. It's being rolled out.
not from what we saw, because it was I felt that the reason why we were called in is because the secretary wanted to get our opinion on whether it was a go or not. In fact, that's the reason why there were comment forms passed around.
Yeah. So in effect, they were already asking you to sample the cooked pie or
Yes.
the finished product.
It was there. Yeah, the finished product was there, and we were asked to do a critique.
Okay, but you said a proposal during that testing. Let's call it a testing session, a consultation. Was it very clear? Did the secretary say to the stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, this is just a proposal? Because everything that came out in the news, in the front page, etc., is that this is the product presented by the ad agency. And so what was it? How was it presented to you?
Actually, the secretary did not say in clear terms that this is the proposal. But the fact that we were asked for comments, we got the impression that, our comments would be part of the decision-making process. That's the reason why it was not publicly launched then.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what happened after that, Bob? Because
they were, they were. The ad agency explained to us how they came up with that concept of fun, love the Philippines. They made a survey. They made a research of people who have visited the Philippines and who have made comments online. And the most popular word that was used by these people was love. They love the Philippines. They love the people. They love the food, blah, blah, blah. More than the word fun. And so that's the thing that made them decide on putting love in the forefront of the slogan.
Bob, there's a request here from our news desk. Could you please state for the record, the video that was presented to the stakeholders, was it the same video that was launched officially or shared officially? Because, is it the same product or was two different products?
No, it's the same. It's the same. It was shown to us, exactly the same video that was shown after when they launched it with President Marcos was there. it was the same video. But when we looked at the video, we don't scrutinize where those visuals came from. We were looking at the concept.
Yeah, I realized that, and that, of course, to be fair, you were only asked to look at the concept or the proposed video. Now, the same video came out. So I'm not trying to start a fight here, but does that mean that the inputs that were given by the stakeholders were set aside, maybe temporarily, or put in a shelf, and they just carried on with the finished product?
I don't think they were. I don't think they set it aside because I don't know. I don't know what the comments were of the others. What additions they wanted, what subtractions they wanted. But as far as my suggestions concerned about the jingle, that's still forthcoming. And I know that's still forthcoming.
Yeah, so as far as videos go, what you saw is what we saw.
Right.
And okay, now let's go back to the academics of all of this. Now, you said it was timely, maybe even necessary to come up with a new campaign slogan. You were shown the material ahead of everybody else. So there was some form of stakeholder consultation. The reception was warm. Now, with everything that has happened, the aftermath of all of this, the plagiarism, or I don't know, I think it's identity theft, if we would call it, etc. And what I read in the newspaper just this morning, while you were on standby, is that the campaign has been thrown out. They're no longer dealing with the agency. Does that mean that we are no longer going to use this campaign? Is that the impression you get?
I don't know. I cannot say anything.
But what would your suggestion be? Because I mean, if 3 countries find out, or 5 countries find out, hey, the Philippines has been pilfering your intellectual property, I don't think we want to be in that situation. What say you?
Yeah, the video is actually, as the DDB said, it's just a mood video to properly introduce the slogan itself. So as far as I'm concerned, even if they cut off the DDB and terminate their services, the slogan's already there. And I don't know whether the Department of Tourism is going to keep it or change it. Changing it would be too costly, I guess. So I really don't know. I still have to meet up with the Department of Tourism and ask, because I just found out about this new development just this morning when you read the papers.
Okay. Sorry to surprise you with that one. But okay, but as far as these materials go, okay, I don't know if my memory serves me right, but we've found ourselves in a situation where the video or the slogan was not popular, right? And that it was changed. I don't know if I'm imagining it, but I seem to recall an incident where slogans were proposed and they said, well, if it's not taking off, let's just change it.
Well, I'm not. When can you clarify?
Oh, well, this is a couple of presidents back. So
okay.
Anyway, going back to this topic, is there a problem if we just say, hey, just pull out the thing and replace it with something else? Because Secretary Frasco is saying, well, we didn't pay them for it. Did they not pay them for the video or for the entire campaign? Because you were saying this is expensive.
I really don't know. I'm not privy to that.
So we're all clueless on this matter, Bob.
Yes.
Okay, so
I still have to talk to them about it.
Back to the the fundamental issue. Should we just dump it and start fresh?
The more dumping it would put us in bad light. I think
Seriously?
that's my opinion, because it's already there. It's already announced, and then people know. Oh, why did we have to pull it out? I mean, they, the Department of Tourism has already decided to come up with a new video, and whether
Okay.
they're going to retain this or not, that's another story. I have to figure that out. But I think that this brouhaha about the plagiarism and all, of course, that affects our standing in the international community. But we should all still focus on how we can further improve our tourism industry, because there's so much to be improved on, especially the cases of airports and things like that.
Well,
We still have to focus on that. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Good thing you raised that, because I was suggesting, okay, we're in that generation of ghosting and cancel culture. Let's just ghost on that slogan for now, cancel it for now, and focus on what you pointed out. Now, there are a lot of problems, and what in your mind should be the tactic of Secretary Frasco, coming from this, mea culpa, if you want to call it,
Well,
where should she pivot or shift?
Well, she started already having close coordinations with the Department of Transportation, Secretary Jimmy, regarding our airport situation. And that meetings have been ongoing. And the thing is, the tourism industry is so dependent on the airport situation, things like that. But unfortunately, that does not belong to the turf of the Department of Tourism. So
Yeah.
they have to coordinate with the Department of Transportation. So as long as there is close coordination between them, then I guess the airport situation will definitely improve for the better. And also coordination with the security, Bureau of Immigration, regarding the long queues at the immigration counters and things like that. That has to be resolved. And the Secretary Frasco is doing all she can to have that resolved in the first place.
I'd like to believe that, Bob, but we've been around the block several times as far as airports are concerned. This is not the fault of one particular president or one particular secretary. We've had this problem time and again. This issue of not having enough chairs. I was just at the airport last week to fetch my daughter. And I literally, with my wife, we're senior citizens, had to sit with the rest of the Filipino families on the floor, because for some strange reason they can't even put mono blocks for people to sit in, or there. And I looked around, there are no senior citizen seating, etc. Do you honestly believe those in charge can change the situation?
Cito, that's my prayer. That's everybody's prayer.
Okay, yeah. Well, we might as well go to church, right? Anyway, let's go for a quick break, Bob, and when we return, let's talk about because to be fair with the secretary, not all of this is her fault, and but she needs to pivot. She needs to shift and turn this into a solution and not a disaster. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back here on Agenda.
Netizens are not just fuming about the use of non-original and foreign stock videos in the mood video of the Love the Philippines tourism campaign. They also pointed out that the new campaign was similar to slogans of other countries, such as Love Barbados and Love Cyprus. The Love Cyprus campaign was launched by the Cyprus Deputy Ministry of Tourism in 2021, 2 years ahead of the Philippines. But this issue seemingly goes beyond the new tourism slogan. Tour operators, for one, are calling on government to focus on simplifying the process for arriving tourists. They also admitted that they have constantly been filling the gaps of government when it comes to addressing tourism issues. So, where exactly should government begin to address issues hounding the tourism sector? That's another topic for today's agenda.
Okay, welcome back to your program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and we are joined by, I don't know if he is actually professor, if he holds a professorial title, but the Bob Zozobrado, President Tourism Congress of the Philippines. So, what are your members, your associates saying about all of this as far as things that need to be improved? And as we were saying, Bob, earlier, how can Secretary Frasco pivot?
Well, all our members, the Tourism Congress, are actually supporting everything that Secretary Frasco is doing right now. We fully support her. And the things that she's been doing, like, for example, she's started a new project focusing on something that will make the Philippines even more attractive to foreigners. They have what they call now the Philippine Experience. And the Philippine Experience is actually promoting the regions in the Philippines that are least visited by tourists. So we started with Mindanao. Last week we went to Davao, and the different parts of Davao region, and they were they were showing us things that would attract tourists, and these are going to be done to all regions in the country.
Well, I'm sure you noticed that I was giggling
I
when
noticed
you
that.
said experience. You know why? Because just this morning I was telling my wife Karen, I have a new slogan, and she said, "What? The Philippines, it's an experience." It's an experience, both good and both bad.
Bad.
Okay, and okay, so
I like that.
Okay, so we can make it good, but my daughter mentioned that it would help if the first thing they address is really the airport, because it's the first thing you arrive at, the first thing you experience, and the last thing you experience. Now, what has the Tourism Congress pushed for as far as that is concerned, or is it simply just an unsurmountable challenge until we have the San Miguel Airport, until the Clark Airport is fully developed, etc.?
When Secretary Frasco first sat as the tourism secretary, she called a meeting, all of us, members of the Tourism Congress and all the other stakeholders. But she focused first on us, members of the Tourism Congress, officers, and we told her exactly what the country needs, what should be done to further improve tourism. She knows that, and that's the reason why she has been focusing on the airport. I don't know if you've read about many months ago, she went there to sort of spruce up the airport a little bit to make it look a little bit more pleasant. And that was just a first step. But, there are many other things that have to be done, including seeing to it that the personnel really deliver the brand of hospitality that we Filipinos are known for.
Okay, well, good luck on that, because as I said, put out the chairs and put in the new toilets because
Yes.
women constantly complain about the toilets. But you were talking about Secretary Frasco meeting with the stakeholders. I honestly don't know anything about her because she's not a very public figure or wasn't a very public figure before she became secretary. Does she have all the right certificates, degrees, or experience? Was she a former tour operator? I know she was a mayor, if I'm not mistaken, of Liloan, Cebu.
Yeah.
But other than
Sure.
that, what qualifies her to be Secretary of Health? Of Tourism, sorry.
I know I'm not aware of her background or connections in the past with the tourism industry, but all I know is what you know, that she used to be the mayor of Liloan
Okay.
in Cebu. She used to be the spokesperson of Vice President Sara Duterte.
Would it
And-
help, Bob, if, and I'm just, just putting this up. I don't have an agenda against her. If anything, I'm very frustrated that I get the impression that she's not surrounded by the right people. That she might have more lawyers than she has tour operators. Would it help if Secretary Frasco engaged with the media a little more?
I guess it would, but then, as you said, in order for her to know as much as possible about the tourism industry, she should be always in close contact with us stakeholders, which
Mhm.
she is doing. She's doing that every so often, every month, almost every other week. We have meetings with her, and
Okay.
we give her what's happening. Like the Tourism Congress of the Philippines was created by law to be the consultative body for the Department of Tourism.
Mhm.
So we are in close contact with her as far as what the people on the ground needs.
Okay,
And I relay that to
you
her.
have given her a wish list. How
Yes.
much of your wish list is actually being acted on or being accomplished?
She is well, I can't say the percentage, but she's doing it. Like, for example, the toilets that are not there, that used to be not there in the public places and tourism destinations. She's addressing that by coming up with rest areas in popular tourism sites. Rest areas where they have very nice, clean toilets, and they have even a souvenir shop. They have a lounging area for tourists who might want to, take a break from their trips. She's
Yeah,
addressing-
but
she's
I
doing
was
that.
but I was told that by and large, the tour operators or stakeholders such as yourself or the Congress, you guys still have to produce your own material. You still have to put things together for your potential markets, guests, and operators abroad.
Well, we do our own because it's part of our business. We have to do it. But the Department of Tourism they also have their own materials, but it may not be enough because there's so many of us. And so we produce our own, not because the Department of Tourism is not doing it, but because we really need more for our own business.
Okay, so aside from all the consultation, so how often are the consultations being done?
With us, the Tourism Congress, as often as every month.
Every month. Now,
Yes.
how about an advisory council? And, with you, it's a tourism congress. Is she hearing from everybody? Because,
Yes.
the worst thing that can happen to a person like the secretary is to hear only from a select group, because of a cordon sanitaire, or, it's for an elite market. Is Philippine tourism now being marketed in a very democratic manner? Or is it still target, AB, the 1,000 and above dollar spender?
No. It's the tourism industry now. It caters to everybody. And she has met with all the levels of the tourism industry. She's met with us. She's met with the tour guides. She's met with the tour operators, and everybody, all the way down the line. I don't know if you remember, there was this controversy also about this tie-up with the Department of Tourism and Grab. Did you remember that in the news several months ago, weeks ago? The Department of Tourism got into a tie-up with Grab, and everybody criticized her and said that, she should not do that. Grab is taking the business away from tour operators. But actually, it was not. It was putting, she found she needed Grab in order to make the tour operators more accessible to tourists. Because any tourist with the Grab app can easily reach the tour operator if they want to go on a tour to any particular destination in the Philippines. So it was actually working for the tour operators.
Yeah, it provides travelers mobility,
Exactly.
and it creates accessibility to operators.
Exactly. Yes. So that she did that, and of course, at first there was a lot of controversy because people thought that she was giving priority to Grab and allowing Grab to steal the business away from tour operators.
So that probably validates what I'm saying, that she's not communicating things properly, or well, not properly, but more often, because it's a good idea if it were presented, it was explained, it was shared way in advance, and there was a campaign, then it wouldn't have been turned into a political thing.
No,
much like the Love Philippines problem.
Actually, somebody actually jumped the gun on her when the moment she had a tie-up with Grab, before she could even talk to the tour operators about it, somebody already spilled the beans and said, "Oh, DOT is coming up with a tie-up with Grab, and Grab is going to do this and do that," instead of the tour operators. But actually, that was not the motive.
So clearly, the secretary has a I hate to say this, a lousy communications team.
I don't know if you can call it that, but
you're being nice, Bob. But I understand you're still in tourism and you don't want to get scalped for it.
It's like this, Cito. We in the tourism industry, we stakeholders, always want to think positive. We always want to, because tourism is actually a very positive engagement. It's a positive endeavor. It can only be successful if we, the people behind it, think positive all the time. And that's the reason why all these brickbats about this and that, okay, it's there. But we focus to continue moving forward so that our tourism industry can recover fast from the 2 years of hibernation that we had.
Yeah, back in the 90s, Bob, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I was in tourism. I was the one who built Club Paradise, which is now with Discovery Philippines, and also Hacienda, which now belongs to Philip Cruz. Now, back then, our attitude was just fix the toilets in the airport, make sure the planes get to us. We will promote our business. We will take care of the guests. Now, what is the mindset of tour operators and travel agents today? Is it still we can do this, just do your part, or right now do they really have to interact for success?
Yes. First, it's the same situation that, okay, this is your job, you do it, and we will do our own. But in the meantime, we also have to interact not only among ourselves, but also with the other branches of government that we have to deal with in order to make our jobs easier.
Okay, but where and you have to be honest, Bob. I know you're
Oh.
diplomatic, but you have to be honest, okay?
Okay,
What
okay.
what can the DOT really work on? I think we both have the same goal to help the DOT get score better points after all of this. Okay, what
Yeah.
can they? We've already said put more chairs in the airport, put better toilets, check on the personnel, etc. What else needs to be really done? Because I spoke with the hotelier, a veteran hotelier last night, and we were talking about trips to Boracay, and she said, I don't know about you, Cito, but I am anxious about flying to Boracay because I don't want to be canceled, delayed, or simply just not waste my time at the airport. And I said I'm going to take the ferry boat. It's more reliable. What's your feedback?
The ideal situation is for the tourism industry and for the secretary is if the airlines could put their act together and make it easier for people to travel from one point to the other without all these delays and flight cancellations and things like that. That should come together with improvement at the airport and improvement at the facilities, because as you said, clearly said that the airport is the first and the last impression of travelers. So if that can be done, then that is euphoria for us.
Are you concerned with the escalating costs of tourism? Because more and more I have been hearing Filipinos say traveling in the Philippines is beginning to become unaffordable or steep.
Yes. In fact, we have talking to airlines about it because airline fares are getting more expensive. And if those fares could be lowered and maybe the hotel rates could also be lowered a bit, then it will be easier for people to come to our country.
Okay,
Yes,
well, Bob,
I'm very concerned.
Well, Bob, I'm sure this won't be the last time we're interviewing you, and we hope you will accommodate us next time. And I promise not to put you in the spot. But thank you for your time today and for your inputs.
I enjoyed it, Cito. Thank you again for inviting me.
Okay. Have a great day. God bless you.
You
Okay.
too.
That's Bob Zozobrado, President, Tourism Congress of the Philippines. And now let's go for our closing prayer for the week that comes from the second book of Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 10. Now he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will supply and multiply your seed for sowing and increase the harvest of your righteousness. Sabi nga ni Lord, manalig ka lang anak, akong bahala sa iyo, suportahan ta ka. Thank you for joining us today. Let's pray for the Department of Tourism to sort things out, get out of this situation, and please include us at Team Agenda in your prayers. God bless all of you. Kindly keep it here on One News.